In the last section, we got started with our Xcode installation, and now we're going to continue with everything else, starting with Homebrew. So Homebrew, again, is used to install Node. That's all we're going to use it for. Homebrew is also used to install many other OS X programs. You may already have it installed. If you do not, no problem. We're going to install it right now. So I'm going to open up my browser, and we're going to navigate directly to brew.sh. Once at brew.sh, there's a fantastic link right in the middle here, big text box. We're going to highlight everything inside of here. So I'm going to highlight all of it, and I will copy it, and then we're going to execute this script at our command line. That script right there will automatically install and configure Homebrew for us. So I'll flip over to my terminal. I've already got my terminal open. If you do not have yours open, you can open it right now by just running terminal like so. Once my terminal is open, I'm going to paste that link in here. I'm going to make sure that I've got the entire link, so everything from user bin all the way through the ending quotes with install over here. And then I will simply run it to install it. In my case, I've already got Homebrew installed, so everything is good to go. If you already have Homebrew installed, you can update it by running brew update. And this will run through and install a bunch of, update your listing of all dependencies and packages that Brew has access to. This usually takes like a minute or two to run. We'll give it another second, and then I'll just, there we go. Hopefully yours runs a little bit faster than mine. I'm not on the fastest internet connection here, but no problem. Well, while that runs, we'll go ahead and go through the Node installation as well. So I'm going to, again at the command line, run the command brew install node. And this is all it takes to install Node.js. In my case, I'm already running that update. In addition, I actually already have Node installed right now, version 6.3. If you have an earlier version of Node, no problem whatsoever. Just make sure that you have at least version 4.5. That's kind of like the minimum cutoff for React Native right now. At least make sure that you have 4.5. This installation might take you a minute or two to run through, so no problem. If you want to pause the video right now and let the installation finish up, fantastic. Once the installation is complete, I'm going to confirm that Node is installed by, at the command line, running node-v. And when I run that, you can see that I get my version pop up. So fantastic, that means everything's installed. I'm ready to use Node. I can now also install the Watchman program as well. So I will run brew install Watchman. Remember, Watchman is a program developed by Facebook for just watching our hard drive for file changes. That's all we're using it for. So I will install Watchman. In my case, again, I think I've already got installed, as you see right here. If you don't have installed, just go ahead and again, let it do its thing. It'll only take a minute or two to get set up. Then, the very last thing that we need to install will be the React Native CLI. At the command line again, I will run npm install -g React Native CLI. And make sure you got the dashes in between each of those. In my case, again, for the fourth time in a row, I've already got this installed. So it's either going to decide to try to do an update or just say, hey, you already got this going. Okay, looks like it just went ahead and did an update perhaps. So that's it. That's all we need to get started with React Native CLI. At this point in time, we're now going to use React Native CLI to generate our first project. Once you generate a React Native project, it really takes a minute to go through the installation. It downloads a lot of dependencies and does a lot of project setup. So when we generate this project, this first one that we're going to get started with, it's going to take a little bit of time to run through. So we'll take a quick break and then continue development in the next section. So let's get started with this startup process. I'm in a directory right now where I want to place my project. So if you're not in a good project directory, a good place to place it, you'll want to change into that directory. For me, right now, I'm in a nice place called workspace prod, which is for me short for production. It means that this is the code that I'm going to be writing for the course and all that kind of good stuff. But anyways, the point is that I'm in a great spot right here to get started with the project. So we're going to generate our first project by running the command line interface. We'll type in React Native init albums. React Native is a reference to the React Native command line tool. Init means we want to initialize a new project. And then the last term here, albums, is the name of the first application that we're going to build. So the name of this application is going to be albums. So let's go ahead and run this. Again, this is going to take some amount of time to get through. So I'm going to pause the video right now, and we'll continue in a little bit by getting started with our ESLint setup, and then we're going to start working on our first application. So I will catch you in the next section.